A very good evening to you. I hope you are having a fantastic weekend. So let's get started. I am so excited about tonight's live because we haven't been. Oh, sorry, forgot to turn the sound up. We haven't done a creation session for a month now, so I'm so excited. I love this session so much when we can design and bead together. Do let me know in the comments if you got any questions. Please put a Q in front of your question so I can really easily identify it, and put a T in front of your tip if you got a tip for us so I can very easily identify it and read it out to everybody. So I hope everything is working with technology. You know me and technology sometimes doesn't mix very well. I'm going to straight take you down on my mat, and what I'm going to do is, well, I'm going to let you to choose. I'm just going to go right down there. I'm going to let you to choose which color you want us to work with. So this is an earth colorway we put together. This is available on totalbeads.co.uk. Details in the description what I'm going to be working with. This is the sky colorway. So do let me know in the comments if you want me to work with earth or if you want to work with sky. Let me just zoom in a little bit more so you can see it better. I love mixing these pinks and teals and sort of golds together, but equally love the aquas and the blues. Do let me know which one do you want me to play with. And if you are new to the stream and this is the first time you are watching, I'm going to be doing this I used to do this on Saturdays. I'm going to do it every Sunday night now. A couple of times on the Saturdays. I used to do it during the month. Now it's going to go to Sundays. I'm going to be here every Sunday. We're going to play with certain beads. These are the pack we used for August, but because of holidays, I was only able to do one session on this. So we're going to play around with it again. And I'm going to zoom you in a little bit more because I want to show you these really beautiful saddle crystal beads we're going to be working with. They are perfect in shape. I call them saddle beads because they are a shape of a saddle and they kind of like fit together quite nicely. We did do a session on this on last month, but unfortunately I did leave all my samples out in Hungary. We were coming back. We went there for a visit at the end of August, so we kind of like back to square one, and we're going to just play with all of these beads. Right, I think that my yeah, they are coming through. They're not coming through. I can't see every single one of the comments coming through, but that's no problem. And this is why I restream to Facebook as well, but this is why I only do it on YouTube, so I can very easily then pull it up and see what you are saying. So we got Pauline saying aqua, please. Good evening, Asha, Judith, Beth, Pauline, Joanne, Sandra, Lucy, Beth, Jackie, good evening. I'm just going to pop over here as well to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Good evening, Brenda. Edward is here. Gwen is here. Oh, good evening to everybody. So if you're brand new to this, we're going to start beading with these beads, and we try to do these interactive sessions as well. So you can just send me a picture if you are like beading along, and then I can pull it into the production and show it to everybody. It's a great way to sort of bead and just have a little chat with everybody, have a little nice chilled Sunday evening here. Right, okay, so we have aqua, we have autumn colors. Good evening, Piniful, Heather, good evening, Anne, Mina. So many of you lovelies are here. Sky, Isla is saying. So we got three people saying sky. I got one people saying the autumn. So I just wait a couple of more minutes and we're gonna be getting started. I kind of like have got a pendant in my head, but we could try bracelet, we could try a necklace, we could try all sorts of different things. I want to have one more go at the a pendant because we were trying to work it sort of from inwards to outwards, and maybe we need to work it from outwards to inwards because these crystals would like really nicely fit together on the side, on the outer side of our pendant. So we're going to reverse engineer our pendant tonight. Sky, autumn sky, aqua, Bridget is saying. I think we got more for the aqua, so it looks like we're going to go ahead with the aqua. I love these. I really do love these. Right. I'm just going to pull up the messenger as well here. So just in case, if any of you send me a picture, I can pull it out. You can either send it to Kitty Robinson or you can send it to Kitty Robinson Designs. And then I will pull it into the production. Right, clicking on Messenger. I know Brenda sent me some photos earlier, which I'm just gonna grab out and I'm gonna pull it in. So Brenda made a few bits and pieces with these beads already. She made a necklace, she made a bracelet, and she made a pendant. So I'm just gonna pull it in and show it to you, all to you, so you can see it. So there we go. I'm gonna pull in the first picture. This is the necklace. I do love she used these beads, and I'm just going to move these ones to the side so they're not distracting you in the background. I do love how she used them, just stringing them on and giving them, like using them in a set of 3s in between the pearl. That looks really, really lovely. I'm going to bring the second picture in. This is the back of the necklace. And just using a toggle clasp. I love toggle clasp. I love magnetic clasp, toggle clasp. I love all sorts of the one, but that probably the most I use is toggles and magnetic clasp. Right, I'm bringing in the next picture. Jodie's saying aqua. Judith is saying sky. So here, let me just zoom in a little bit more. This is a very beautiful piece as well, with all there's some pearl beads in here, and then the crystal beads are just in between those pearl beads. This one looks beautiful. So I love that. I really do love that pendant. They do love my pendant. Oh, Brenda's here. This is the Brenda who Brenda Jackson. Her pictures I'm showing. She had a trip to Cadbury World in the UK, and she said she's still getting through her chocolate supplies. Bless. Right, I'm bringing in the next picture. There we go. This is a bracelet she designed with these beads. These all look beautiful as well. I do like that crisscross pattern in the middle. We had a little go at the bracelet as well, but didn't quite finish it in the previous session. And then this is the last picture I got, and I'm gonna bring this as well. See, I love that how those crystals sit in the middle on that pendant. I think let's try to do something like that, because I really want to see those crystals on the outer side of our pendant. I think they would sit really nicely. Right, so we're gonna go with the aqua colorway. I'm just gonna X this out. I'm gonna get myself organized, just like taking some beads off. I think I'm gonna go with this darker color. Come on, camera. There we go. Come with me. Sometimes the camera does tricks on us, but we can trick it as well. Good evening, Pamela. Right. Let's cut these up. I'm going to work with the largest one first. There's two sizes are here. We get up to doing all sorts of different techniques with all sorts of different beads. We used hematite donuts before. We made a really nice Ferris wheel pendant. You all decided to call that one. I'm going to take size 11 seed beads and grab a thread and thread my needle up. I am going to use this color that goes quite nicely with my beads there. So do let me know if you got any questions or any tips for us while with beading, so I can make sure that I answer it for you. This is the most nerve-wracking thing, that when you have to thread a needle live on air. Let just trim the end of it. So if you do struggle threading your needle, there's a good I got a couple of good tips for you. So, and I'm going to zoom in on this even more so you can see it. There we go. So when you're cutting your thread, most of us always cut the thread like straight on in a 90 degrees. So it makes life easier if you cut your thread in an angle. So I'm not going to cut it 90 degrees. I'm going to do maybe a 45 or even more, because this way, and I'm going to bring this in, can you, hopefully camera might be able to just pick it up, we have created a little pointy end to our thread. And then when I'm trying to thread it, I'm not pushing the thread towards the needle, I'm trying to bring the needle to the thread. And once it's through, I'm going to grab the end and pull it through. So just a little tip there for you if you're struggling threading your needles. Right, I am going to, let's start with, shall I put a seed bead in between the crystals, or shall we just start with the crystals themselves? If I add a seed bead in, it will space it out a little bit. So I'm going to add one seed bead in, and I'm going to start with one crystal, one seed bead, one crystal. I'm going to do 6 sets and see how far is that going to get us. So I'm going to make a pendant. I'm working from the outer side of the pendant to the inner side. So if I started with a crystal, I'm going to finish with a seed bead. I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to go through all of these to turn them into a nice circle. Just like that. Good evening, Amelia. I'm just pop those beads to the side so my thread doesn't get caught up in it. I'm going to go all the way around. Now, I do not recommend for you to knot your tail end and your working end together when you go all the way around, because sometimes what can happen, that the knot can seep into, the crystal has got a larger hole, but the seed beads have got smaller holes, and if the knot seeps into the hole of the seed bead, then you won't be able to thread it again. This one is going to be quite small. Maybe we should have gone with 8, but never mind. We're going to go with the 6 for now, and then we see how we can bead this. So I went past my tail and I just got into the first couple of crystals. Now I want to go through the seed bead itself, because I want to come out of the seed beads as I'm adding more. And there we go. And I'm going to pick up, I think we're going to need, maybe let's pick up 3 seed beads and see how far is 3 seed beads gonna get us. I'm just gonna pop this onto the mat, because I want to get from one side. Now we're gonna need more, so I'm gonna set one side of the crystal to all the way to the other, so we're gonna need 5. So I'm going to picking up another 2, and then I'm gonna go in to this seed bead right here. So I'm creating an inner circle to pull my pendant. There we go. I'm gonna turn my direction, and I'm gonna come through that very last seed bead we added back towards on myself. Then I'm gonna pick up a further 4 seed beads, because I'm already coming out of that one there. Now in the cases like this, on the first one you always use an uneven number, because that's the number you want to get to. And if you came back on the first seed bead, then you're always going to use an even number afterwards to create those little loops. And then we're going to run around in the middle and tighten up our loop at the end. So I'm picking up 4 again and going to jump to the next seed bead. Good evening, Angela. Good evening, Michelle. There we go. I'm coming back through that seed bead and pulling it nice and tight. I'm picking up a further 4. And now I got more of you here watching. If any of you done any designs and you don't mind sharing it, just please message me a picture so I can pull it in and show everybody what you've been up to with these gorgeous beads. So I'm picking up another 4. And going through the next one. And then this one is quite fiddly, but not fiddly, but like flimsy. Probably that's a better word at the moment. But once we went all the way around and we're going to pull the middle, that's when it's going to pull into a circle. So I'm just coming back up the first bead. Now this time, because I'm connecting this is going to be my last loop on there, I don't need to pick up 4. I only need to pick up 3, because I got, like, each one of them has got 5 seed beads looping around them, but already got 1 from the one I'm coming out of, and I'm going to go into this very last one with the very first loop. So I'm only picking up 3 this time, and that will make our 5 seed beads. I'm going to go into this very last seed bead here. Then I'm going to come through. I'm going to come through that seed bead underneath it. And I'm going to go back up to my inner circle through that seed bead. Just move my hand over a little bit, and I'm gonna go through the first 3 seed beads. I want to come out right in the middle, and those are the ones I'm gonna pull together. So as I'm coming out of this one, I'm gonna jump and pull the middle one of the next loop. Let's zoom in a little bit more so you can see it better. There we go. And then from there, I'm going to jump to the next one. And then from there, I'm going to jump again to the next middle one. And so on until I get all the way around. I usually, when I do something like this, I do like to go around a couple of times, just to really strengthen the inner circle and pull it tighter. And can you see, the more I'm pulling it tighter, the more this is turning into more of a circle. And we're going to go around and bead around the outer as well. So we're going to tighten that row up as well in a sec. Right, last one to the first one, then we're going to run around one more find. Sensor sync, I find Eslon split. Should you wax it first, please? So I don't wax my Supalon, because if you wax your Supalon, what can happen? I have got beeswax here as well, somewhere in my little toolbox, tool trolley rather, next to me. But if you wax your thread, what can happen is that the wax will block the hole. As you're putting it through your needle, it can block the hole on your needle. And then there's a little trick you can do. You can, like, put your needles in a cup and then pour hot water on them, and then that should dissolve the wax in there. So now I went around, I'm gonna weave my thread to the outer, and I'm just run around all of these one more time to pull them tight as well. All the outer edge. It doesn't really matter, I guess, which bead we're gonna go out on. I used to use other threads as well before, but for the last, don't ask me how many years, probably like at least 10 years, if not 15, I've been using Supalon. I'm just going to come through out to my outer circle and run through the crystals and the seed bead here one more time, just to strengthen them. And pull them tight as well. Now, shall we add it seems like it's missing something else. So I think we need to add another row towards the outside, or maybe I know what we can do. And we tried this with the other pendants when we made them before. We can add a row almost towards the outside, but slightly underneath it, and then that will turn the crystals more towards the front, turning this little pendant into quite like a flower, I guess. So I'm just gonna run around. I'm gonna add an extra seed bead in just in a second. I think that's what we're gonna do. Brandy's saying I'm doing right angle weave at the moment. Do let me know as well, what projects are you working on? Lucy's saying I'm making some more check beaded beads tonight. Right, I'm just going to that seed bead and a crystal. Now, as we went around these into this outer circle, these seed beads like 2 or 3 times now, or probably more, I do need to add another seed bead into the gaps here, which then I can hook my next row in. So I'm just going to pick up one seed bead and go into the next crystal. Just take this tail out of the way. So this seed bead just going to sit above, like sort of to the outside of the seed bead we added before. Jody is saying Kitty's still having problems with dragonfly earrings. The wings are flimsy. You need to go around and tighten them. But the best thing to do, Jody, is send me a picture so I can see like what you are doing, because sometimes you may just be missing a step out, or you know, if you send me a picture, then I can see exactly what you're doing and comment on it better. So I'm just adding one seed bead in as I go around. I'm just going to move this camera slightly because my hands keep wandering back to that spot. I'm pulling this up nice and tight. And as I am adding the last one, I'm going to go into the one we added first, the very first one. And now I'm going to add a loop of beads. So I just pop it down. I often, when I design something, I like to just pop it down on my mat and just sort of have a look at it. How is it looking? We could pop a pearl in the middle. I think that would look quite cool as well. We could do all sorts of different things. I'm not sure how much, but it will turn. The petals will turn. So if we add a row almost like behind them, the petals will sort of the crystal beads will turn on himself. Diane is saying making black and gold knitted necklaces. Judith is making a kumihimo necklace. Rachel is saying, whoop, I made it. I'm loving the beach hut, but now I want to do creation station. It looks great already. Well, I don't even know what we're going to end up as a finished result, but we see. So if I want to add seed beads, so slightly turn the crystals around it, then I need to make it a little bit shorter. So let's see, if I pick up 4 seed beads, will that be the right amount? Because the 5 seed bead just gone around it. If I pick up 4, and I'm going to take this all the way down, I want to add this behind the crystal. So when I'm going to pull this tight, that crystal is, can you see what's happening? So the crystal is sitting nice and proud to the side. I think it's beautiful just like that as well. But if we add this in to the back of it, and when I pull this tight, those beads just going to force the crystal to turn a little bit. So let's try that. I'm just going to go through the next seed bead, and I'm going to pick up another 4. Just like that. 1, 2. This is the back of it right now. And into this one. I'm just trying to move my mouse on a computer, and it didn't work, and my mouse wasn't turned on. There we go, and I'm going to pull this nice and tight as well. So let's turn around. So can you see these two have already got the 4 seed beads behind them, and those crystals just turned a tiny bit. Right, I got Jean. If I just say hi to you, trying to send a message, and now you can send a picture. There we go. That's our lovely Jean from the Bead Club. But I'm gonna go back to the main message is, there we go, and she's typing. I can see. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add these 4 seed beads behind every single crystal, turning them slightly. So the front, and actually this would make a beautiful clasp to a bracelet as well, or like a beautiful flower design. We could we could make a few of these up. Actually, I could quite like that, make a few of these up and have it on a bracelet, but I think it does need something in the middle. So wherever we add that size, or maybe just 6mm pearl, I will cut the pearls down in a minute and just pop one in the middle to see. So I'm going to pick up another 4. Oh, good evening, Patricia. Patricia's saying, hello everyone, had trouble finding you tonight, so I'm a bit late. Don't worry, lovely, we just started not long ago. We're going to be doing all sorts of different things. There we go. And I'm making sure every single time when I'm pulling these beads, I'm making sure that they stay on this side and not trying to jump on the other side of those crystals. 1, 2, 3, 4, and going through the next seed bead. There we go. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and coming through the last one. And I'm going to pull it nice and tight, and then I'm going to turn it around and see. Actually looks quite nice like this side as well, making sure that the loop, it goes behind that crystal. It quite does look quite nice this side as well with the seed bead loops. If these loops, we made them with a different color seed beads, I think that would have looked fantastic as well. Now I'm going to turn it around, and as we can see, these little crystals just sort of turned in on them a little bit. Let me just cut these pearls. I'm just going to pop 1 pearl in the middle. This is a 6mm pearl. What do we think? Do we need a 6mm pearl in the middle? I think it kind of just sets it off really well. Oh, Angela's saying I'm bezeling a mini Rivoli. How big is that? How big is or how small is a mini Rivoli, Angela? Ashley is saying I'm trying to bead with my right hand. Oh, bless you. I think it's quite good sometimes to try to bead with your other hand as well, because I often find that as well when I'm been beading with my right hand quite a lot and I'm just holding on to the beads with my left hand, like I can get cramps in my fingers, so sometimes it's quite nice and good. So actually, you never know, you might find your right hand is just as good. So anybody who doesn't know, actually, I hope you don't mind me telling, but she had problems with her wrist, and now she's is it still in a cast? Do let us know. Patricia saying really wanted to start video as I have this bundle, so I will watch the beginning to see how you started. Looks very nice. I'll be probably gonna doing another one in a minute anyway, lovely, but a different design with it. Good evening, Pauline, as well. She said, oh, I just got here. Right, okay. Oh, and it's saying I'm making a trio of patterned faux crochet tubular necklace at the moment. Each a different length, so I can wear them together. Ooh, that must have been look really good. Good evening, Ruth. I do love like layered necklaces, but I think they can be really effective. So, pearl or not to pearl? That is the question. Let me just cut the 8mm down so I can pop that one in the middle as well. I think that 6mm kind of look nice, but that's the 6mm, and this is the 8mm. The 8mm, I think it's a little bit too big. But do let me know, do we prefer the 8mm or do we prefer the 6mm? I think it does need just that one bead in the middle. So which one do you prefer? I don't know. I can sort of call, and maybe if you made this even a little bit bigger, like, oh, this could be earrings. This could be earrings as well. So we could make this into earrings, and then we could do a large one for a pendant with 8mm in the middle. We could do that as well. So instead of starting with six crystals, we could start with 8 crystals. Or Angela's saying her ruler is 40mm, but 40mm is not that small. It's smallish, but not too small. There are smaller ones than that. Amin is saying 6mm. Ruth is saying 6mm. Actually, I can show you some of these. Ruth is saying 6mm. Lucy is saying 6mm. Jody. So I think collectively we are agreed that we're gonna be adding the 6mm pearl into there. Good evening, Dean. Nice to see you there. I'm very good, thank you. Right, so I want to add this pearl onto the top. So once again, I'm gonna weave my thread into sort of the middle-ish and come out of one of those seed beads in the middle. Then I'm gonna go through the next crystal. And instead of going through the outer seed bead, I'm going to go through the inner seed bead. Just like that. And pull this up. Nice and tight. I started with an extra long thread here and I'm going towards the middle. And I'm going to come out one of those middle seed beads. I'm going to pick up my pearl, and then quite simply, as I'm coming out of this one on this side, and I'm going to jump all the way to the other side. So I'm going to count 1, 2, and I'm going to come through the third one. It doesn't matter which side because we're going to come back through the pearl to centralize it. So I'm going to come back through there. I'm going to pull this up nice and tight and just let that pearl to sit on the top there. And then I'm going to go back into the pearl. Pull this up nice and tight, and I'm going to go, and it's quite getting a little bit full there, but I can see I'm coming out of that seed bead just right. I'm hoping you can pick it up. So we're coming out of this seed bead on this side. So I'm going to take my thread through that seed bead one more time, but from the opposite end. And actually I'm going to stick my needle from one side to another because I can pull it up nicer and tighter towards the back. And we got that pearl. I think that looks quite lovely. That would make a beautiful earring. Ooh, this would make a beautiful clip-on earring. It's perfect size for that one. Oh, Angela's saying 40mm is too small for her. And Asher saying, I've had my right wrist in a cast, then I fell and broke my left ankle, had surgery on that. Then I fell and broke my left wrist, which is just in a temporary plaster at the hospital in the morning. Oh, bless you, Asher. We virtual kisses and hugs for you, lovely. We're sending all the best wishes to speedy recovery. They do say things, don't they say? The things comes in 3, so you had all 3 of them. So you will be fine now for the rest of your life. Right, how are we doing? I think that looks good. Now, what we're going to do with this, so is it going to be an earring, or we could make into a dangle earring? That could be another thing. We could connect it up with some seed beads and just add it on an earring. I'm quite partial to a dangle earring because I do like dangle earrings. So, or shall we could make it, we could sew this onto a clip-on base as well. We could do that one as well. Do let me know. Clip-on earring or dangle earring? Which one would you like? I know if it's my choice, we're gonna go dangle route, but I do want to know, you know, I do like my dangle earrings, but I do want to know what would you like to do, dangly or clip-on? I had some clip-on earrings somewhere. I can go and grab them, and if not, then I'll find some very quickly. So which one shall we do? But while we decide on that, I'm going to pop this to the side, and I'm going to take some more thread, add another needle to it, and we're going to try this with 8 beads. So if this one's going to be the earring, our pendant definitely needs to be bigger. Pauline is saying dangly nice. Thank you, Pauline. I love you. Jody's saying, hey Kitty, wondering how Sarah's doing with her injury. Sure have missed her shows. I'm not really sure, Jody. I need to catch up with her. I haven't spoken to her, if I'm very honest with you, for a few weeks now. So I do need to, we just both been really, really busy. So I do need to catch up with her some point, and I will let you know. Bless her. That is Sarah Payne we are talking about. The other Sarah Millsop, she's still really, really busy with her TV stuff. What's happening with you, thread? Let's cut the end of the thread again. This little scissor I got here is not the sharpest, but never mind, we manage. Oh, Ruth is saying, Asher, I hope you feel better soon. Bless you, Asher. Lucy's saying, sending you love. Everybody's sending you love. Dangle earrings. Angela's saying, Isla's saying dangle earrings. So we will turn that into a dangle earring just in a moment. Sometimes when you use a needle for quite some time, what can happen that as you're pulling the needle through beads, this eye can sort of collapse on it a little bit, and then it's harder to put the thread through them. So sometimes needles have got, well, I know when my needle is old because I grip on my needles so hard they always bend for me. So sometimes they all look like little snakes. Now, one thing I want to show you, and if you have got trouble with super on thread, let me just pop back to this main camera. Those of you who are regulars, you do know how to unreel your thread, because even though it's coming off the bobbin, it can be twisted. So hold your needle, hold the thread right underneath the needle, and just index finger and thumb and bring it all the way through. And as I'm bringing this up, can you see the bobbin is just spinning, 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 because the thread itself was twisted. So I like to do this a couple of times, and then I know that my thread is nice and straight. Also, other thing you can stretch your thread a little bit. That's another good tip, to kind of like hoping to end up with less knots, and your thread is not gonna knot that much. Right, I'm popping this one to the side, going back down on the mat. There we go. And we're gonna do a pendant. So are we gonna go do 8 crystals, or are we gonna do 10? Shall we do 10? We could do whatever number we like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. That's 10. 8 or 10? What we're going to do let me know. What would you like me to do? Starting with 8 crystals, or we can go up to 10 crystals. Nat is saying, hi Kitty, hi, sorry I'm late trying to get small boy sleep. I'm doing all that is hard work from this weekend. Oh, bless you. I hope he's all right. I hope he's gonna sleep through the night for you tonight as well. So Natalie's been down for the last few nights. We've been working on so many good projects coming your way soon, but your little boy has been sleeping through the night since she's been here. So hoping he will keep up and sleep all the way through tonight as well. I'm gonna start with the crystals. So am I putting 8 crystals or 10 crystals on that? Let me know. Mina is sending hugs to Asher. So I'm just doing the same thing. I'm picking up 1 seed bead, a crystal, another seed bead, another crystal, all the way around. So 8 or 10. I could do a bracelet with the crystals. Yeah, let's have a very quickly do this pendant, and then we can go on and try a bracelet pattern. Now do let me know, what sort of pattern do you have in mind, Diane? What shall we do? We could do all sorts of different stitches. Right, that's 8 so far. So are we going to do 8 or are we going to do 10? Mina is saying 10. Paul is saying 10. Rachel is saying 10. Nobody's saying 8 so far. I think we're going to have to go for 10. Have to go for a little bit bigger one. And he's saying 10. 10 would make a lovely pendant size. Yes, sometimes I do like, or Natalie's saying 10. Everybody's saying 10. Sometimes I do like some small pendant on a very thin chain, but sometimes I do like larger pendants, because then you can wear somewhat a chunkier chain, like a herringbone chain with it or something a little bit more substantial. So we're going to do 10. Right, I'm going to go through. I got my thread is long enough, go through all of them again. And again, we are reverse engineering because we're going from the outer side to the inner side. And I think that's where we went wrong last time, that we went from inner side to the outer side. Well, we didn't really go wrong, but that's how we did it last time. So let's see. We're probably going to have to add an extra row in, or maybe our middle, maybe our middle hole is just going to turn out bigger this way. So I'm just going through those crystals and seed beads all the way around. I'm not going to knot my tail end and my working end together. So Patricia, if you are like, this is how we started the other one as well. We just started with 6, not 8. Oh, Angela said 8. Oh, Ruth is saying 22. Oh, bless. Or 23, sorry. I think that would be a really large pendant, wouldn't it? Rich is saying 10, 10, 10. Judy's saying 10 crystals. Judith saying, Kitty, hopefully get Christopher do some Halloween crafting with beads. He's really busy on his computer at the moment. Like, they're doing all these, I don't know, tournaments and all sorts of different things. I'm just going to go past my tail and into the next lot of beads. It would be nice to do some Halloween projects. We were talking about with Natalie as well, that what we're going to do and what can we do for Halloween. All sorts of ideas came up. Right, I think that's a nice pendant size. So this is probably just a tiny bit bigger than a £2 coin, £2 UK coin. And while they're saying can't keep up, Kitty, so I'm just going to enjoy watching them bead tomorrow. Oh, bless you. Oh, Lucy's saying Ruth wants something to match her large poppy. Oh, bless. I have to have a look. I haven't watched, I have posted it already in the group, but I haven't watched Friday Bead Club yet at all. So any of you who are new and you don't know what Bead Club is, we do run a virtual Bead Club where we get up to all sorts of fun. I'm going to do the 5 and 4s again, going all the way around. So I'm just going to picking up 5 seed beads. And as I'm coming out of between these 2 crystals out of that seed bead, I'm going to jump to the next one. So that's going to be our inner line. It will all pull together in a sec. So we run a virtual bead club, and I'm going to come back through the very last seed bead because the loops are going to be sharing the first and the last seed bead. The virtual bead club is just so fun. I really do look forward to it. It is my favorite time of the week, like just to get together with like-minded people and chit chat and do some beading. We do all sorts of different projects. And this week we done, Sarah was teaching the class this week. We done a, I haven't done it yet, but I do really want to do it. A poppy, a French beaded poppy. Does it seem that it's a little bit too big, the 5 seed beads on this one? Why does it look bigger on this one than it looked on the smaller one? Was quite tighter, but maybe if it's a tiny bit bigger, it will let us to move the petals around more. Let's carry on and go around and we see how we get on with the seed beads. Maybe I should have gone down to size 15s as well, because you got size 15 in the pack. Lucy Garrett, stop laughing. Ruth is saying, I don't know. What, if I missed something? It's a glorious color, Brenda, Ruth is saying. So Ruth, you might be a little bit behind and just watching Brenda's pictures. Oh, Mina's saying, Ruth, I would love to watch a video of your poppy. Ruth, send me a picture and I will show it to everybody. Oh, Ruth is saying, Bead Cup is a giggle. I love it. It's so nice. Like socially, and we always learn something, always do something. Right, I'm coming through that seed bead there. I'm just going to go all the way around. But you're saying, yes, I'm watching. The colors are lovely. I'm going to have a good play with them tomorrow. I can keep rewinding to see how it started. Yes, you can catch on a replay as well. So another 4, going through the next one. Oh, I can hear little footsteps running downstairs. No, it's gone towards the lounge. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. I forgot to come back through that bead. So backtrack. I'm gonna take my needle off. See, I'm chatting so much and I'm enjoying myself here, and I forgot to come through one of the seed beads. So let's just take these off. And there we go. And before we add the 4 seed beads, we need to go through the very last one on the loop. Oopsies. There's one more seed bead there. Oopsies. Even I make boo-boos quite a lot. But I don't call it unpicking. I call it reverse stitching, what we just did. We didn't unpick it, we reverse stitched. Reversed our stitching. And just saying, it's a lovely poppy. Got a few orders, but I gave it up today as my thumb was hurting. Oh, I love French beaded flowers. I made up when we were in Hungary. We were like sitting outside in a veranda. It was quite nice and hot, and I was making some poinsettias to go on a wreath for a friend. And I've given it to her. I still need to make, I said to her, like, I'm really sorry, I need to make 4 leaves for it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do holly or mistletoe leaves, probably holly, to go on there. But again, don't pick up the beads before I go through this. But that can be added to it afterwards. There we go. And I'm just going through the next 4. And then coming through the seed beads, that's it. There we go. And then I need to come back through that seed bead first before I pick up my 4 seed beads. Just get this tail out of the way and slightly turn it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and going through the next one. I'm just looking. Diane sent me a photo. I can see that. Jean, your photo didn't come through. Lovely. Can you please resend it? Ooh, Diane sent a picture of a bracelet. Right. Let me just have a look. And just pull this out. I'm just going to quickly bring this in and show it to you. So this is from our lovely Diane. She made a simple strand one as well, using the large and the small crystals right next to each other. I think that looks really lovely. And another one, which is the bracelet one, and I'm going to pull this out as well if I can. There we go. And make this bigger as well. That looks really good. I love how those crystals sitting on the top. I think that looks really good. So that is 4 pearls underneath it, as I can gather. Is this right angle weave? Lovely. It must be right angle weave. And then adding the crystals on the top. That looks really good. Really, really effective. So we shall have a go at that, shall we? After we made the pendant. We got plenty of time. Sheila is saying, I made mine with ordinary seed bead. It looks nice. Going to make some more. Oh, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Sheila, as well. Right, where are we? Need to come through that seed bead. Sometimes I'm chatting too much to you. I forgot where I am. And pick up the next 4. Right, I'm more than halfway around now. Just keep going around. Jean just sent me the thumbs up. So please do resend the picture. Sometimes it can be, I don't know, sometimes pictures come through, sometimes they don't. There we go. I'm gonna set up an email address for this, and then you could email it as well, but that's not, haven't happened yet. But as we go through, we can, every single week, we can sort of tweak it. What's the easiest for everybody? There we go. And I'm just adding the last few one. Looks similar to the hematite design that we did with Sarah Millsop. Oh, that's the hematite woven one, you mean? Maybe that would look good as well. That was right angle weave down, and then it was running up and down on either side, wasn't it? That was quite some time ago as well. How strange it is, like you can remember stitches, you can remember sort of remember patterns, but it's like baking, like you kind of remember what goes into a cake or different cakes, but you don't remember how many grams you need to put in. So you always need to have a look at the recipe, just a quick sneak peek. How many grams of sugar or flour or whatever you're putting in your cake. So I'm on my last one, so I'm only picking up 3. 1, 2, 3, and going down on that very last or first bead of that loop, the first loop we added, then through the seed bead itself, and then back up in the middle. Right, I think we either have to add a second line here for this one as you're pulling it together, because if I pull, or maybe add a seed bead in between every middle one, because if I pull this together now, or maybe 2, no, 2 will be too much. So, or we could add, ooh, we got a little 3mm pearl, which might just does the trick. I'm going to try that. I'm going to add in between those picots, like I'm saying picot sort of beads because it's like towering. In between those beads, I'm going to add a little 3mm pearl just to make it a little bit different, and then see how is that going to turn out. Right, I'm going to go right back into the middle. Did I came through that bead? Let me just have a look. Got caught with my thread. There we go. Hopefully this will fix it. Yes. I'm going to go back into the middle, and I'm going to add a 3mm pearl in between of my middle seed bead on each loop, and just go through the next one just to have a nice, 3mm might be too big, so you might have to go back down to the size 11, but I think that will look rather nice in our pattern. And picking up the next one, going to the next middle bead, just like that, pulling it. Oh, I missed one. I am not looking careful enough. I'm keep doing boo-boos tonight. What's happening? And I stitched through, so I need to pull this off. What's happening with me tonight? If Camille would be here, she would be telling me, like, take a sip of your coffee. I'm going to take a sip of my Diet Coke. There we go. I'm going to thread this back very quickly. So sometimes you can stitch back quite easily through a bead and get away with it. But sometimes, unfortunately, you have to take your needle off and take it back and thread it again because you stitched through the thread itself. If I just have to go back through one bead, sometimes I'm just like, no, I can get away with it. I think that's going to look pretty. Those little pearls in there. Right, going to the next one, making sure I'm going to the right one this time. I'm just going to pop around and add those pearls in. And as I'm adding the pearl in, I'm pulling it a little bit tighter. And actually, we might not even need a big pearl in the middle if you add those little pearls. And I think if you turn these ones again a little bit, like we turned it on the earring version of it. I think that will look quite pretty. Oh, that is thing. I was hoping for a different idea for a bracelet rather than mine. Well, I'm sure if you all of us, we put our heads together, we can come up with something. So I'm going to run around this, and while I'm running around, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop Diane's bracelet idea back. Again, let's have a look, everybody, and let's have a little think how or what we can do differently. Shall we? How we can make, but this is a right angle weave, so we could do it with a different stitch. We got size 11, size 15, size 11, size 8, and size 6s. So we got a nice variety of seed beads here, as well as we got some bugle beads. And we do have some 3mm, 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm pearls. So do let me know what shall we do. If we want to do a bracelet, I do really like this design, Diane, what you did, but do let me know what can we do differently, what we can come up together. It would be nice, just thinking, I'm going to take this off for a second. It would be nice to have pearls running in the middle, but I think we might need, thinking already, I haven't even finished this one, but I'm thinking on the next one. Have the pearls in the middle. I'm just going to grab these because these are still on a strand. Have the pearls in the middle and the crystals on the side somehow. Like, ooh. Will that work? Will that work? I've got an idea. Might work, might not work. I've got an idea. We see. So put like a larger pearl right next to it. So where is my middle seed bead? There we are. I'll keep saying I would like to learn Diane's design. There we go. I'm adding in the last pearl. I'm quite pleased how these little pearls looking in the middle here. There we go. Heather is saying, I think the bracelet is lovely. It's a nice start for me to use the saddle beads I've had hanging out of my work table. Couldn't figure out what to do with them. Oh, this like there is so many different things. I think, you know, they're such a lovely shape. They're really a lovely shape, and I just love, like, you know, they give you almost a different dimension to your beadwork. If they had 2 holes on them, perhaps they would be more pliable because they wouldn't flop. But even with the 1 hole, I think they look great. This look really great as well. I could just leave it like this, or I could turn. Shall we leave it like this, the pendant, or are we gonna do the same what we did to the earring one? We're gonna slightly turn the petals. Do let me know, what would you like me to do? Shall we leave it like this, or shall we like turn them in? Marissa's saying, I'm loving the look of this pendant. Ruth is saying, love the colors. So what shall we do? Shall we add the loops to the back, or are we gonna leave it just as it is? I love geometric pendants like this, sort of like a reef style pendants, because we could even like add like more seed beads into a middle, or add. Or did we try with the bugle beads last time? I'm not quite sure. But we could add like little bugle beads in the middle, coming to the middle, but that might be too much. Like taking the focus away from these beautiful pearls. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the bugle beads. Leave it, it's lovely. Marissa is saying, anybody else, shall we add loops on the back, or shall we just leave it as it is? Sometimes less is more, and sometimes, like they do say, like I need to put the needle down and walk away. but I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure. We could leave it like this, but we need to do something somewhere. We're gonna have to add, like, how are we gonna attach this? So we're gonna need to add a bail onto it. And if we want to add a bail onto it, then we need to be, if we add one seed bead in here, okay, we could do that. So I got an idea for the bail as well. Shall we go leave it as it is? Ruth is saying, okay, so shall we go ahead and do a little bail? I have got a little idea how we can make a pretty, just like a pretty, like a 2-row little bail on the top. So I'm gonna go around in the middle one more time, and actually one more thing. If you really want to pull this in, because it's like a little bit flopsy, what you could do is just to go through the pearls themselves. So instead of going the seed beads, if I just run through the pearls just like that, then that should tighten it up even more, creating a thread path in between those two pearls. Now I could add a size 15 seed bead in here, but I do think just going through the pearls will work. Marissa's saying less, but yes, please do a bail. So I'm just going to run around here, just through the pearls, just like that, and pull this up nice and tight. Right, let me just shut the door is open. I can hear them talking next door. There we go. I just shut the door. Sometimes, like, I shut doors, and obviously the children come and go, and they open up the door, but they forget to shut them. There we go. So I'm just going through the pearls, not the seed beads, just the pearls. And sometimes I can go and shut the door towards the lounge or the kitchen, and 2 seconds later they come down, open it again, leave it open, and then I have to go and shut it again. They open it again. I kind of like contemplating, like, what are those things called? Sometimes when you go to like restaurants, or like you go to like office buildings, you do have you have got a thing on the top of the door which is like automatically shuts it. Could you use the bugle to sit a rivoli on it? Yeah, maybe a rivoli would look nice in the middle as well. I'm going to leave this one as it is, but we can try that one as well. I have got rivolis, 80mm rivolis. That's probably would look good in the middle. I'm going to grab one. I'm not going to add it into this one. I'm going to grab the rivoli. So we want a nice bluish or aquish color. There we go. Let's have a look. We could secure, look at that. That would look nice as well, a rivoli in the middle. So that's something else we can think about, or we can work. We can work on it. We could, if you wanted to add a rivoli in the middle, you wouldn't see the pearls. So if I take this out and put the rivoli behind those pearls, if we added the loops on the back, like we added for the earrings, then we could pull those loops together, and then the rivoli would stay in the middle. If I look a different color, something a little bit darker, so it stands out a bit more. I think this one is just one shade darker than that. What do we think of that? Is that the same? I think that's the same. We could absolutely add that rivoli into it. Have I got like a navy? I haven't got a navy blue rivoli. I've got so many different colors, but you never got the color what you want. It's always the way. Auto closer. What do you mean, Ruth? Do let me know. Well, I can see while I'm waiting for you to let me know if you want me to. I think if you want to add Rivoli, perhaps we need to start with 12 crystals to make this middle bit just a tiny bit bigger. So I'm gonna finish this with that Rivoli, and then you can decide if you want me to try out the bracelet, or we can try out another pendant, and we're gonna start with 12 instead of 10, and then we're gonna do the loops on the back, and then we can add the Rivoli in the middle, and I think that would look really good together as well. So I'm gonna pop this Rivoli to the side while you decide if you want me to do another one with Rivoli. I think it needs to be just one size bigger. So I'm just going to go through, going through just the pearls to tighten my inner row up. And then I'm going to weave my thread towards the outer edge. And there we go. And we're going to add a little bail onto the top of it. So we got different options how to add a bail. I love doing a 2-bead herringbone-ish or square stitch. You can call bail, but we're gonna have to add another seed bead in where we're gonna come out of. So as I'm gonna go right out to the outer side, I'm gonna go into that seed bead. I'm gonna go through next crystal, and I'm gonna add a seed bead in, which then I'm gonna coming in and out of to add my bail. So that's gonna house my bail, that seed bead there. So I'm gonna run all the way around. Shall we add? We could add that seed bead all the way around. Shall we add a seed bead all the way around, filling those gaps, or are we gonna leave them with gaps? What shall we do? That would look good as well if you fill it with an extra seed bead, but equally we could leave it out. Bonnie's saying I like a bracelet because I can admire that I'm wearing them. Oh yes, that's good, because the pendants sometimes you can't see it. With the bracelet, you like your wrist is always there. Leave the gaps, Ruth is saying. And it's just saying, just a matter of interest, what would it look like with a smaller pendant on the top of the larger one? So before I do anything else, let me pop this in. Oh wow, look at that. That would look gorgeous as well. That would look really good as well. That would look good. Marissa's saying she likes the gaps as well, so we shall leave the gaps on for this little reef pendant. Right, as I added that one seed bead in, and just get this tail out of the way, I'm gonna run all the way around the seed beads and the crystals to get, because I want to be able to coming out of that seed bead, and by running all the way around, I'm tightening up this outer row as well, as much as I need to seed those crystals nicely together. And the next one, I'm just going to run all the way around. Angela's saying she likes the gaps as well. Good evening, Julie. Nice to see you here. I'm going to actually cut this bobbin off at the end, because we have got quite a lot of thread, so we're not going to need more thread off the bobbin. And if in case you're wondering, if it's the first time you're joining, I usually always leave the bobbin on my beadwork, because if I run out of thread, I can always take more thread off the bobbin and start beading the other way. Not every single case, but 90% of the time you can take more thread off your bobbin. And my thread is showing me up now. We're gonna have to unreel it, I think. Right, yes, it's probably twisted, so I'm just gonna hold it up. I'm gonna run my finger down, and you can see it's spinning right around, so it was quite twisted. as we go around, we always move the needle, we move our hand as well, and it always gets twisted, and it's usually either twisted to the right or twisted to the left, depending of how you, like with the motion, like when you're putting your needle through, the same with your needle through, it's always like get twisted, maybe half a turn or a turn. And then when you're going through so many beads, every single time you're pulling it through, you can imagine that it can get really twisted. Asher is saying it would look lovely as well. I think it would lovely to combine the two together, but I really do love those pearls in the middle. So, after we finish this, so we went all the way around, and I'm coming out of that one seed bead just there. So I'm gonna pick up 1, 2, 4 seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm gonna come through this very single seed bead. I'm coming out, but from the other side. I'm gonna pull this up nice and tight. So I started like a little 2 on top of each other. Then I'm gonna come through both of these, the first 2 seed bead. I'm gonna pick up another 2 and then come back down all the other 2 on the other side, because I want to be able to have this nice and strong. Then I'm gonna go through all 3 of them on the left hand side, pull it up nice and strong. I'm gonna pick up 2, I'm gonna come down the first 2 on the left hand side, and I'm gonna go back up the 3 on the right hand side. So when you're doing normal herringbone stitch, you picking up 2, coming down 1, and sort of you going up like that. Here we are having an extra, we're going through an extra seed bead every single time, so we are creating more thread in every single one of those beads. I just need to turn this so I can get to the 3 seed beads on the right hand side, and pulling it up nice and tight. Then again picking up 2, coming down, and then going back up, picking up 2, and I'm gonna make this, well, it really depends, like how big do you want your little bell, depending on what are you going to wear this with. Like I kinda like to wear like 4 bead herringbone necklaces. That's kind of like not too thin, not too thick, not too chunky, just the right size, Goldilocks size, I guess. So I kind of like to make it big enough so I can put it through one of those chains. Good evening, Karen, nice to see you here. And coming back down the last, not 2 but 3 bead. You're more than welcome to, and as you can see, as I'm doing it, I'm turning this backwards and forwards in my hand, always making it nice and easy to put my beads through. Right, I'm just gonna pop to Facebook because I can see that Jean managed to send our pictures to us. So I'm just gonna pop these pictures in and I'll let you admire it. And at the same time, I'm gonna carry on with my stitches here. So this is from Jean, our lovely Jean Thatcher. Oh, look at that. That looks really lovely as well. It looks really effective, like in that sort of kind of front there. More, it's like it gives you like this beautiful waterfall effect. I love it. I think that looks really, really pretty, Jean. Well done. And going up through. Like this is the thing. If like 50 of us or 100 of us or 500 of us have got the same beading pack, we would all slightly design different things and come up with different ideas, depending on what stitches we favor or what we like to do. Like I'm gonna bring in the jeans other picture. Heather is saying that set is really beautiful. It is really beautiful. I'm going to bring in this other picture what Jean showed me. Thank you so much, Jean. And thank you so much, Brenda. Thank you so much, Diane, as well, to send in the pictures. And I love this one as well. They look really, really, I'm going to try to make it a little bit bigger. When we're making pictures bigger like this, sometimes the quality of them is not great, but you just about be able to see the lovely pendant she made. And she made a little peyote bell on the top as well. We could have done that as well. There's all sorts of different options we have, and this is the beauty when you're designing your own jewelry, that you can really do whatever you like to do or you want to do, or whatever you like, you know, whatever design you fancy. Right, I think I only need to add maybe 4 or 5 more beads. This one, they are lovely. Julie is saying, Lona is saying it's beautiful, really, really beautiful. So maybe about 5 more rows I need to add to this, just to make it a nice size. So when you're sizing up pendants and you're making the bill on the top, kind of like it's what I like to do. So you want to have it proportioned to the pendant itself as well. So very small bell on a very large pendant can look out of place, or a very large bell on a very small pendant can look out of place as well. So it's nice to have maybe from 1/3 of the pendant to half the pendant size. That's the kind of size of the bell you're looking for. Now, of course, here you're gonna fold this over on itself. That's gonna go just like that. So I need a couple more beads, and because we went through those beads so many times, can you see this one is like kind of become a little bit stiffer, which is what we want for the bell. And when I pull this over and then put it down on the mat, you can see I just need it just a tiny bit bigger. Maybe 2 more beads and we will be fine. 2 more rows, I mean. So 4 more beads. Marissa's saying very nice. As well, that's for Jean's pictures. Anybody else, please do send me a picture so I can show everybody if you have made anything with these beautiful saddle beads. Right, let's have a look. So I added 2 there. I'm just coming up through the last 3. There we go. Well, I think I can see there's some pictures coming in from Ruth as well. I'll go and grab them just in a sec. And then, quite simply, what we're going to do, we're going to fold this over. Is that big enough? I think that's kind of like big enough size. Quite simply, what we're going to do, as we're coming out of that seed bead right at the end, let me turn this around. What we need to do, we need to go through this very bottom single seed bead in between the 2 crystals. And we're going to pull our pendant. Make sure just wrapped around itself. This thread is really showing me up tonight. Pull it nice and tight. On the other side, there we go. And then pull it right down. Then hold on, let me just pull it back a bit. So this side of the seed bead, that single seed bead there, the thread is there. Can you see this connected to this side of my bell? So as I went through this seed bead, I need to come back up the first 2 seed bead on this side. And then I'm gonna go back down again. Pull this up nice and tight. I think that's just about the right size. Pull this up nice and tight. I'm gonna go back down the 2 seed beads. So this is on the left hand side. I'm coming up, I'm going back down on the right hand side. Then I'm going to go through the single seed bead between the crystals one more time. There we go. And I'm going to come back up through one seed bead on the right hand side, and then go down one seed bead on the left hand side and through that middle seed bead in between the crystals again. So that's sewn our bell to the seed bead quite a few times. And because the stitch we did, because we always went down 2 and come up on 3, I'm just going to show you the side profile just a sec. Just pull this up nice and tight and go through that middle. I'm going to run around the pendant one more time just to strengthen the outer side of it. There we go. Right, so because we always added 2 seed beads, went down 2, came up 3. If I show you this bell from the side, can you see it's a nice and round bell? So it's not gonna look, not gonna sort of droop, not gonna close in on itself. It's always gonna say nice and round bell. That's my life to do this technique on the top, and I think it looks quite, it looks quite sweet. And if you obviously wanted to, you could decorate, we could add some pearls on the side here, decorate it even further. And I'm just going to run around at the edge here. Actually, while I'm running around, I'm going to go and see the pictures from Ruth and bring them in. There we go. And as I'm going around, I'm just pulling a little bit tighter to really tighten up the outer edge of my pendant. Well, I think I need to untangle my thread one more time, so I'm going to hold it right under the needle and pull it through. Oh yes, and it's spinning around, so it was a little bit twisted. Oh, it's the poppies she made. I'm going to bring that in and show it to everybody. Right, let's have a look. Let's go here. So here we go. So we got the petals first. So this is what they were making in a bead club yesterday. And let me just pop this in. So they made the petals with the seed beads themselves, and then from the petals they were adding it together. Let me just pull the next picture out. There we go. Adding them together into the little beautiful poppy. And they were using the hex beads, which I really love these hex beads. They are somewhat like, makes everything a little bit more sparkly. And here is from the side way. You did have a larger middle. I think that's what Lucy was making. Oh, we are not laughing. I think it really looks beautiful. It looks really, really beautiful. I'm dying to have a go at this, but I've just been so busy with Natalie here and doing everything that I haven't had a time to have it. But I will definitely have a go at that one. Poppies are one of my favorite flowers. Even like in the kitchen, I have got these ceramic plates on the wall, like sort of wall art thing, and they are like filled of poppies. They're just really beautiful. But in Hungary, we do have pink poppies as well. But I love the red one. That's red poppy is my poppy. They're just really, really beautiful. Well, all the flowers are beautiful, really. Right, I'm just coming through these and I'm back towards the beginning. So I think we will leave this pendant as it is. Now, do you want me? We still got quite a good time left. Do you want me to start on a bracelet, or shall we have a go at a pendant where we'll put the rivelet in the middle of it? Do let me know. What would you like me to do? I'm not going to bore you by sort of threading and knotting my ends off. I'm just going to leave it as it is. And then I will come back later and sew the ends off. So what shall we do next? Oh, Ruth is saying should have been 3.5 centimeters, not inches. Oh, bless you. Well, it will make a beautiful home decor. Paul is saying bracelet piece. Ruth is saying bracelet. So with the bracelet, let's have a look what we can do. So I'm going to pop this to the side. And then before I go at the end, we need to talk about this month's and next month's pack, because I did have an idea for what I really would like to do in September and October is to really play with some purple beads, but I will show you just in a second, and you can let me know what you would like to do. Right, there we go. So if you have an 8mm pearl running in the middle of our bracelet, let me just come out one scene. And then we want to add the crystals on there. Let's grab this because this is got, so we will add the crystals to either side just like that. I think if we add a seed bead in between, and then what we're gonna do is hook into those seed beads. We're gonna hook, we don't want it there, we don't want to see on the top of it, we want it to sit there. So if there is a seed bead in between, we're gonna have to, how are we gonna do this? 1 or 2, we had 2 seed, or just, yeah, maybe we need 2 seed beads in between. We won't be able to slightly turn it. I want it quite tight. I really want it quite tight, but these are going to be quite close as well. Ooh, I know. I got an idea. Right. So if we start with the crystals with the pearls already, and then we run up and down on the side of it, it's going to be sort of right angle weave, but I think it's going to look really good. So let me just get more crystals here. I'm going to grab my thread and another needle. Would the shaped beads go back to back to make a petal shape for different pattern? What do you mean? The Lona, I need a little bit more information on that one. I need to grab a little needle, all of my needles. So those are the state of my needles. They all bent because I grab a hold of them so hard. Oh, Brenda sent me another picture as well. I will pop that in just in a sec. And there we go. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to start off with a pearl, a crystal, a pearl, a crystal. And we're going to go through all 4 of this again. Oops. Now when we go through, we're going to turn this into little units. So I'm going to run around. Do we need a seed bead in between? Let's just have a look before I run around. So if I pull this tight, can we see? Yeah, we can see it. See, if you pull this tight, you can see that we are, let me just go back one. So I'm not pulling it oblong. So if I pull it tight, we can see the seed bead quite a bit. Well, not the seed bead. We can see that, let me just zoom in. We can see the thread a little bit. I mean, it doesn't look awful. And we're still going to add seed beads or pearls in between. I just don't know if we added a seed bead in now. Let's do it without the seed beads and we see how we get on. So I'm going to go run around all of these just to form a nice and strong base. And then I'm just right by my tail. I'm going to go through the pearl, crystal, pearl. So I'm just going to get to the other side completely away from my tail. Just like that. I think that's going to look quite cute. And then maybe should have used smaller pearls. No, I'm gonna stick with my gut and I'm gonna go with larger ones. I'm gonna pick up a crystal I'm gonna pick up a pearl and another crystal, and I'm gonna come through this pearl again and pull this up nice and tight. And my next unit is gonna sit just there. And then I think when we run down on the side of it, that's when we can add a smaller pearl right in there, or seed bead even will do. What do we think? Will this work? If I'm not gonna make a whole length of bracelet, I'm gonna just do a few stitches so we can really see. Usually when any time when I design something, this is what I do. I make up maybe a 2-inch long sort of strip and then run backwards and forwards and see how it goes all together. I think that looks quite good, and it's beautiful from this, and it's beautiful from the side. These are still the bigger crystals and the 8mm pearl. We could do with the smaller crystals, but I think we would need to go down to the 6mm pearl. We can try that as well in a second, because bracelets like these, they don't really take long. So within minutes, and especially if you'll do like a 2-inch length, which is like not even big enough for a baby, but it's big enough for a tester, just to test the pattern itself. We will have time, just about time to try out with the 6 one as well. I think that looks quite cute. Right, make sure when your crystals closes in, that if it's turned around, that before you pull it tight, just turn that petal the right way. And then I'm going up through the pearl. I think I'm going to add 2 more sections, but I think that's looking pretty. Versus saying I'm loving this. If you added a row to the edge of the pendant to make it look like a flower, or lengthwise is a bracelet, not describing, well, loving you, what you're doing. Oh, bless you. Yes, we could. So we could have added like this, going almost all the way around. We could have done that as well, and you could make it wider. You could have, what you could do, you could have got this coming out of here at this point, another one coming out of like this point, and like join them together. So you would do like a little triangle up until this point, then carry on the 6 bead, a 6 bead herringbone all the way down. That would look really good as well, Lorna. Well done. Thank you for the suggestion. There's so many different things, and this is what I love. And I love these Sunday night sessions because we bounce each other off so much. Like you say something and they spark somebody else an idea, and they say something, and then we go on and on and on, and it's just such a great little session. Right, there we go. So I'm gonna add one more. Shall I add one more to all the old mini bracelet? So crystal, pearl, crystal. This is quite easy pattern, I think. This way, and then I'm just thinking, if we added, no, it would be too big. But if we did this with smaller pearls and the smaller crystals, you could do, and you didn't add crystal. Oh yes. If we didn't add crystals to one side and just added a small pearl or something, we could turn this into a pendant by we could curl it around as well. Ooh, there's all sorts of different things. Do you still have different color kits? So these crystal beads are on the website now, so there's all sorts of different colors. For the creation station, what we do in Gesher is we are like I when I first started, we just started. I used to just grab beads from whatever I can find on the shelf and just play with it. And then everybody's like, "Oh, I would like to bead along." So we done like a little bundle for each month, and then you can like purchase in advance, and then we can bead together. Right, I am gonna go and run down, and I'm gonna add what we're gonna fit in the gaps. I'm not sure if we'll be able to fit in a pearl. Do we need another pearl, or do we need and do we need a seed bead? We got size 8 seed beads as well. Size 11 might be quite small, so we got size 8 seed beads as well. Let me just grab another needle. So we could add either a pearl or a seed bead in between. I think the seed bead would sit neater. What do you think? Do let me know. Am I going to add a 3mm pearl, or am I going to add a size 8? Oh, Marissa's saying a size 8 question. So, Marissa, if you're new to beading, seed beads comes in different sizes. So let me just grab some other ones out. So in the very, very old days, they used to measure the beads, that how many beads will fit into, and I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so you can see it, how many seed beads fit into an inch. And if it was 11, then that's why the one we were using for the pendants, they are size 11s, because this doesn't really like exist like that anymore, but the number is still there. So these are size 11s, these are size 8, and these are size 6s. And then we also got size 15s, which is even more. So larger the number, the smaller the seed bead. So with size 11, they approximately 2mm in size. Size 8 seed beads approximately 3mm in size. Size 6 seed beads are approximately 4mm in size, and size 15s is about 1.5mm in size. Everybody's saying seed bead, size 8 seed bead. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add the seed bead in between. So I'm going to come through the crystal, and I'm just going to pick up a seed bead, go into the next crystal, pick up another seed bead, go into the next crystal, pick up another seed bead, and so on all the way down. Then I'm going to run back up on the other side, adding the size 8 seed beads. Sometimes, like if you're watching anybody in America, they would refer to them the 8-O's. Maybe they're too big. I don't know. Let's add the other side and then we will see. I'm coming past my tail again, turning around. Shall I zoom back in a little bit? There we go. And adding the size 8s on this side as well. There we go. And running all the way up. I think the size 8 actually, because it don't, maybe the size 11 would have been a better choice, but we can always, all I need to do is just take the needle off and we can pull it back up. So let's put it down. I think the size 8 is too big, because can you see that the crystals are buckling a little bit, and I want a nice and even base. So I'm gonna go and take this off very quickly and add size 11s instead. So when you're designing something, often that's why I make little pieces like this when I'm working something out, because then quite easily I only need to go back a few beads, and then you have got you haven't sort of you can get to the right pattern quicker. Yes, it's uneven. Julie's saying yeah, absolutely. This is it's all just like, you know, when you, well, I don't know, but like when my if your children do, but like when Christopher plays with Lego, it's like always just trying and error and just see like what you can get out of it, and you fit one piece, and if it doesn't fit, then you try another piece. And that's how I see beadwork as well, that if one doesn't fit, then we go back, just take it off, reverse stitching, and add the next size in. Right, let me just threaded my needle back up quickly. And I am going to, while I'm gonna add the size 11 seed beads. I'm just gonna bring in Brenda's bracelet because she sent me another picture and show it to you. This is what she's been working on tonight. So she's been using, by the look of it, there is a 3 10mm pearls in the middle, and are they 10? Well, there might there's 3 different sizes. It could be 10, 8, and 4, or it could be 6, 4, and 3. But I think it's 10, 8, and 4. And by the look of it, size 11 seed beads, and I'm loving that 8 figure of 8 a bracelet bar in the middle. Do let me know. I think they're 10 size 10mm, 8mm, and 4mm. Do let us know, Brenda, what size are they. But that looks beautiful as well. Absolutely beautiful. Right, back again. I'm adding size 11s. So we got rid of the size 8s and adding size 11s. Now I already can feel, like, see, it sits nicer just by adding 2 seed beads. I think this will be our size. Now then we can again, well, let me run around, and then we got the option to add a loop behind, slightly turning these crystals if we can, but I think they might be too tight on the pearls. So if you want to turn them like we turned in the first pendant, we might need to add a seed bead in between the pattern when we pick them up. So we could have a little go and try that as well. So just to the other side and picking up a seed bead in between every single one of those crystals. Oh, Julie's saying that's pretty, Brenda. Yeah, absolutely. Brenda does so many wonderful stuff. All of you, and I have met so many lovely people like over the last years, and people like when we used to do exhibitions, they used to come to exhibitions and they wear beautiful necklaces and bracelets and jewelry what they made. I think that's kind of the right size. So if I want these crystals to turn in a little bit, they're not going to turn because the pearl is too tight. The only way we can remedy that if we add a seed bead. So remember when we first started, I said, oh, I can see that little bit of thread path, and actually like it's all right. If you just made it and left it on the side, I think it would look nice. But if we added a seed bead in between, which I'm going to try very, very quickly, we still got time, then I think we could turn this slightly towards the front. It's still nice. I think it still would look nice on the side, really nice and sparkly, but slightly turning them towards the front. So I'm going to pop this to the side, thread another needle, and then try again. And this time we're going to add seed beads in between the crystals and the pearls, and then we will compare the two together to see which one looks the best. I'm just grabbing a needle. Hopefully this time I get a bit more of a straight needle. All of my needles are bent. Sometimes in my house you can't find a straight needle. Right, I'm gonna go ahead. I think this would look nice in the smaller one as well. In the smaller pearl. Shall we try with the smaller crystals with a 6mm pearl, or do you want me to stick to this size we've been using? Do let me know in the comments what would you like me to do. Smaller crystal with smaller pearls, or stick with the larger crystal with the larger pearls? I can do either or. Which one would like me to do? Oh, Ashley is saying Brenda is awesome. Absolutely. She is wonderful. Right. Needle. I think this is one of my dub needles because it doesn't really want to thread. Right, chucking that one out. Must have used it quite a few times. I'm grabbing a different one. So I do love the color eye needles. Let's see this one. It's only slightly bent. It's only slightly bent. It's not quite straight. It's only slightly bent, but it's all right. I do love the color eye needles because when you have the color eye needles, the black ones are size 10, the turquoise one are size 11, and I loving the size 11 size, and the red ones are size 12. And when you add them into a little pin cushion like I have there. You can see what size you have. Smaller one, please. There's this thing, Lorna's thing, smaller one. Yep, not a problem. Let me just thread my threading needle. There we go. I'm just gonna pull this up. Get rid of the little tail end. Right, so we are gonna use these smaller crystals. So I'm just gonna grab these, and I think the 6mm pearls. And if you want these to turn, let me just undo this a little bit. I'm gonna go through. If you want that the 6mm is gonna sit in the middle. If you want to turn these slightly, then we're gonna have to add extra seed beads in between, definitely. So, and the question is, do I add 1 seed bead or do I add 2? I think 1 seed bead. Let's try it with 1 seed bead. So let me just cut the end here. There we go. And I'm gonna keep to the size 11 seed beads. Oh, Heather, you think have to go and cook dinner now? Oh, thank you very much, Heather, to coming and watching me. I do appreciate every single one of you. And let us know before you go, Heather. Let us know what you're cooking, because we all would like to know what you're cooking. We had chicken and mushroom paprika tonight, which is like kind of like a Hungarian dish with a little bit of a twist. Because usually you either have like mushroom paprika or chicken paprika, and I kind of like mix the two. But do let us know what you want to be cooking. I'm always looking for inspiration. Like, I don't know about you, but like I kind of find myself like cooking the same things over and over again for like weeks and weeks and weeks, and then all of a sudden one's like, oh well, I need to add something new to the repertoire, and then we start cooking something new, and then we have that for weeks and weeks and weeks. Not every day, but like, you know, in a mix of in between, and then it sort of goes around in circles. So I'm picking up a pearl, seed bead, crystal, seed bead, pearl, and I missed a seed bead there, seed bead, and then crystal, then seed bead. So there's a seed bead in every single pearl and crystal, and I'm gonna take these down. Let me just get these out of the way a little bit, so I don't have to move my hand. I don't have to cross my hand. Right, so I'm just going to take this down. I'm going to come through all of them one more time. So because we have that little gap there in between now, and I know these are smaller, but because we added that seed bead in between, we will be able to turn these crystals slightly towards the pearls themselves. So I'm just going to run all the way around, then come back through the same as I did in the other version to work away from my tail. I need to go all the way around first. There we go. Then through the pearl and up. First seed bead, crystal, seed bead, and pearl. Just like that. And then I'm gonna, can you see? That will be our first little section. And then when we run up and down, afterwards we can add the few seed beads behind, and then hopefully they will turn the crystals inwards towards the pearl. Mina's saying, Kitty, you should make nachos with extra topping of chicken. My son loves it, and we just had it for dinner. Can also add dips for adults. Ooh, that sounds good. So like Lucy doesn't like it. Lucy doesn't like chicken paprika, and Simon loves it. Christopher, he likes the sauce a part of it, but he doesn't like the chicken bits in it. So when I make it, I have to do this trick to put the sieve in the sort of the whole food itself and just get the sauce part out. Actually, I could blitz it. I didn't even think about that. I could just put it in the blender and blend it up for him. That's what I'm going to do next time. And then he just have the sauce and pasta, or he's not really fond of rice. So seed bead, crystal, seed bead, pearl, seed bead, crystal, seed bead. I'm going to come to that pearl again to form my second little unit, then go all the way up to this pearl. There we go. Just going through those beads. I love cooking. Brenda is saying I use 10, 8, 6 and 6mm pearls with size 11 seed beads. So I'm sure it was just a lucky guess on my part, but I got it right. So seed bead, crystal, seed bead, pearl, seed bead, crystal, seed bead again. And I'm just going to do like 5 units, 5, 6 units, so we can see how is this going to form. Sometimes it's nice to have chunkier bracelets, but sometimes it's nice to have smaller and thinner ones. Right, seed bead, crystal, seed bead, pearl, seed bead, crystal, seed bead. And I'm going to come through that pearl. And then go up. Seed bead, crystal, seed bead, and through the pearl. And I'm just going to pick up one more unit. A seed bead, crystal, seed bead, a pearl, seed bead, crystal, seed bead, and come to that pearl again. Now, I'm going to go to the top because I have to go to the other side anyway. And I'm going to pop it down on the mat, and we're just going to evaluate it, what we are actually going to do. It feels like this one, because we added the seed beads, it feels a bit more sort of movable. With this one, it's like it's not as much movable itself. So I like the seed bead between already. Now we're going to run down, and I reckon what we need to do, we don't need to add anything else in. We need to run down and connect those seed beads up. So I'm just going to go through the seed bead, crystal, seed bead, and straight away I'm going into the next seed bead, crystal, seed bead, and all the way down. And I think that will bring them together nice and close. So we don't need to add an extra seed bead in here, because we're just slightly turning the seed beads we have on there already, and then we can add the little loop on the next round. We can add a little loop behind it, and then that will turn the direction of that crystal, which I think it's going to look fab. These are smaller crystals, so we're not going to be probably going to need maybe 3 seed beads behind. We're not going to need 4. So I'm just running all the way down and across, then up on this side, sewing these together. Just by sewing those seed beads together, I can see it's already made my bracelet neater, which is not really a bracelet, it's just like a tester piece, but if you made a bracelet, we would be doing the same thing. We would just do it longer. Right, up to the top, across again, and then I want to come out of the seed bead on the other side. And then let's pick up 3 seed beads. I think we're going to need 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take this down and see how many do we need underneath it. Maybe just 2 actually, to turn this a little bit. Let's pop it down. No, I think we're going to need the 3. I think my first guess. Right, so now I'm going to go through the 2 seed beads. The 2 seed beads in between the next 2 crystals. Actually, I didn't need to sew it together. I could have done it at the same time when I run up. But never mind. On the next one, there we go, that's 1. And I want to make sure when I'm pulling this tight that this little loop of seed beads, I'm just going to tuck it behind the crystal, just like that, and come out of the next seed bead as well. And I'm going to pick up my next 3 seed beads, and I can already see, can you see, because we added those 3 seed beads, how this crystal turned towards the top, and I think that's going to look great. Right, and I'm going to go through the next 2 in between. Can I get my needle to both of them at the same time? Yes, I can. Again, like when you're pulling it tight, you want to make sure that loop doesn't end up on the top. You want to slightly turn your crystal and tuck the seed bead underneath it. Because the seed beads, and I'm just turning around, is going to be smaller, so they won't be able to come through anymore once you added it on. And again, that crystal is turned as well. I think that looks really great. So I think like this would be really worth it to go and make into a longer one. So this one is a smaller crystal and the 6mm pearls with size 11 seed beads. I want to say, could you build the bracelet going the other way so the crystals are back to back with the pearls than the side? I can see what I mean, but not good at describing. Yeah, so what Lorna is saying, we could have the crystals in the middle and the pearls on the side. I think we tried something similar to that last time, and the pearls, like, because they're in the middle, they can still swivel around. So we ended up, I think so, but I can't remember. I actually have to watch that live back what we did. That was a month ago. I don't remember what we had for dinner last night. Not what I did a month ago. And that crystal turned again. I think that's going to look great. So I'm just going to run up and down. So I'm just adding the one before. I didn't need it to go and sew those beads together, because the minute I sewed them together, they tucked it really tightly into the next to the crystal. So and just wiggle it a little bit. There we go. 1 seed bead, 2 seed beads. So next time if I do this, I want to make sure that I don't run up and down. I do running up and down when I'm adding the seed beads in. So you can see if I put it down, you can see one side is still sitting to the side and the other side turned really nicely. So adding the last 3 on this side, coming through the seed bead and pearl, pulling this up. Brenda's saying the fluidity is better. Yeah, I think so, with adding the seed beads. I mean, you mean for the bracelet? Turn the corner. I'm just going to add those 3 seed beads on this side as well, so we can have the both side matching. And you could go ahead and add things on the top of it if you wanted to, more seed beads. This thread is really showing me up tonight. It's probably twisted. I need to untwist it. There we go. I'm going to make sure this, just pull it over that crystal and tuck it right under. They all gonna be one side, and that one's turned as well. I think that looks quite good. Yes, it looks better with the seed beads at the back, Marissa's saying. Absolutely. Sometimes I find just a little tweaks, or sometimes just the difference is just one little seed bead, and it makes it look so much nicer. Right, I'm gonna run, make sure tuck it under, and then pull it tight. Oh, I love it. I really do love the look of that. Right, 1, 2, 3, and then coming to the next 2 seed beads. Tucking it under. There we go. Actually, before I go into the next one, I'm just gonna pull this thread down and see. Oh, it spins a little bit, so it was a little bit twisted. 1, 2, 3 seed beads. Oh, Brenda's saying we need this bracelet as a kit, all in other gorgeous colors we have. Absolutely. So guess what, Brenda, you're gonna be stitching tomorrow? No, just joking. I have got a knot and it's twisted. There we go. Right, again, making sure that the loop doesn't end up on the top. I'm gonna tucking it at the back, pulling it tight. 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to come to the last seed bead and pearl bead. There we go. Again, tucking it back under and pulling it tight. I think that looks really nice. I would tweak it just a slightly bit, not much. I would tweak it a tiny bit. I would like to try it with a size 15 seed beads. So if any of you will be doing this, would you be able, if you do try it with a size 15 seed beads instead of using size 11s, do send me a picture, because I would like to have a look at that one, because I think the size 11 fine, but they're just a tiny bit. I just feel they are a tiny wincy bit is a little bit too big. So I would just like to try it with one smaller size a seed bead. So yeah, but I think it works really nicely. Brenda's saying looking forward to that, sounds like a plan. This version is looking very pretty. Leslie's saying I really love this one as well. It's going to be a gorgeous bracelet. I think it's going to look really nice. It's just a slight little tweaks. That's all we need. That's all it needs. I think we need to try size 15 seed beads, and that will be fine. Right, my lovelies, it's 9 p.m. Could it be shaped into a V-shaped necklace? I think it could, because we could easily turn. So instead of on any given, like, you know, when you want to turn your V shape, instead of picking up a pearl crystal, you would picking up a pearl crystal, and then just turn and go up on that way. I'm just going to move these beads because I really want to show you. I really want to ask your opinion. What would you like to do next month? Because what I've been thinking, I do love my 2-hole beads, and I've been working with 2-hole beads a lot and done loads of different projects and kits and designs. Love this design, and what would work for men jewelry as well. I think it would as well, Mina, because there are colors in there. Like if for example, I'm just going to grab this because this is in the earth kit here. This is like gold. So if you did gold with either with gold pearls, I think that could be look very unisex as well. So you could do all sorts of different things. So going back to next month's project, I'm just going to move these seed beads out of the way. What I was thinking that I really would like to go, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see all the table. I really would like to do quite a few sessions. So because Creation Station or the Sunday Beading Live Creation Station is going to be on Sundays now, but we're going to do it every single Sunday. So now we will have the opportunity to start something one Sunday, finish it on the next. I'm going to be here a couple of hours, no problem. So that's absolutely fine. But 2 whole beads. So I would like to do a series on doing something with not Toho, with parpuka beads, and we're probably going to use some seed beads with it as well. However, using as well if I know, using parpuka beads, like they're all sort of these beautiful 2 whole beads, and actually this one's only got one hole lost. There is so many different shapes. And if I made a big bundle, because what I really would like to do is to give you one bag of each shape. So this would be the earth colorway. I did like sort of greens, golds in there, but then it will be a little bit more expensive. So what I was thinking to do, instead of just doing it for 1 month, we do it for September and October. So we'll have like a good 6 or 7 sessions on them. So this one, altogether we have 14 shapes. Or is there a shape in there what you would say that no, I don't fancy that, or I don't want to do that one? Do let me know, because I would take that shape out. And then so even though just like using, we all got seed beads because we had seed beads in previous packs. Like for example, we could all use either the gold, like the from August pack, we could use the seed beads, what we had in the August pack, or the pearls as well, because they will go with these parpuka beads as well to experiment. So to keep the cost down, I'm thinking to leave out the seed beads and just and give you one of each one of those shapes. But is there is there a pattern, or is there a particular bead you like, you say like you don't want to perhaps play with, just to keep the cost down for you? So do let me know. I'm just gonna give here. So this is 14 different parpuka. Lucy's saying love them. Oh, Rachel's saying look, they look lush. So this would be the earth colorway, and then, but bear in mind, like, you know, these beads, that a packet is between 4 to 6 pound, but we're gonna do like 6 sessions with it. So we're gonna take them and we're gonna do all sorts of different, like I kind of kept it in again, and I'm just gonna grab the seed beads from August pack, move the advent out so I can move this in more. I'm gonna go and grab the seed beads from the August pack. I got 15 in this one, so one thing I must have twice, or I missed it out there. So we got Helios beads, which are the little sort of bat shaped ones. We got Samos beads. Samos, they are the ones, they're like cabochons, but they're a bit more oval. We got Arcos, we got Delos, we got Amos, we got Pyros, we got Paros, we got Ilos, we got Los, we got Super Cheops, Tinos, Minos, Kos, Cheops, and Telos. So all the different beads what we stock in Parpuka. So would you like to have a big bundle like this, and we will use it for 2 months? Do let me know. Angela's saying all. And then we could go through, because with these beads and a lot of the patterns what you can find online as well, they do call for 2 different shapes together. So again, we could use the seed beads from the August pack, and they will go very nice together, because in the August pack we had size 6, size 8, size 11 bugles and size 15. So we already got those. So rather giving you more seed beads, I think if we went with one of each of the shapes would be better, because then we could have loads of different sessions on these. Like some of them we already used. We did a flower pendant, the flower pendant with this one. There, I used the Arcos in places as well. I don't think we've done anything with the kelps or the super kelps. So I'm really, and I love these one. This is the course is fairly new shape. Like I love to do something with these ones as well. And haven't done anything with this shape, so I just love to have like a big bundle where we done the Helios one, and we done a few bits as well. So I just love to have a big bundle, and these ones look so interesting because they do have holes going through them. So they got holes going that way. There is 1 and 2, and there is holes going that way as well. So I think this one, like, we could hook into so many different ways. Let me just move it up. We could hook into so many different ways. So I'm really excited to use or play with them. Definitely a big bundle, Rachel is saying. You use bag 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh bless. Well, I'll leave it as it is. I don't know why it's not got 14. This one's got 15, but I'll figure it out. It's gonna be made the same. So I hope you have a. Oh, actually, I'm doing live tomorrow morning and Totally, so you can catch me there. But otherwise, have a lovely evening, have a lovely week, and I'll be back next Sunday night, and then we're gonna work with these beauties. I will sort this out with Simon tomorrow, so they can pop it onto the website, and then we're gonna be playing with those. I am quite excited. These Minos beads as well, they're like little rondos, and you know we did the Lara bracelet a few weeks ago. They would look really good in the middle as well. So there's all sorts of different things you can do. How many beads in each bag? So they are the website amount. So they are 10 grams apart from the Minos, because the Minos is 5 grams. So they are all 10 grams. So they are exactly the same, but they would be on the website. So they are a good amount in them. So they vary. So some of the larger pieces, they're going to be less, but the smaller pieces, you're gonna have plenty in there. There is so much in there. I'm looking forward to use this shape as well, because this, like, they look like little houses on the side, and we could do all sorts of different things. So just have a few of these like in one row in a pendant, and then we could use like either something like a Amos going around the outside of it. There's so many different things we could combine them. So I'm really looking forward to this one. So I'll see you tomorrow morning on Total Beads, or I'll see you next Sunday night back here. Everybody have a beautiful week, and I'll see you very soon.